Greetings. Hi, I'm Dr. Walter Jacobs, and a board-certified psychiatrist. Okay, so, I've learned a lot of stuff, and I've integrated and applied a lot of the stuff that I've learned about psychology, about human behavior, about communication. I've integrated it into my life. It's made me a better person. Made me a better teacher and guide and mentor to other people, but it hasn't made me perfect. Yeah. I still have my moments, like we all do, and it's rare that I get enraged. It's rare that I get angry. I mean, I get irritated. Although I got to tell you, A Course in Miracles says that even mild irritation is like intense rage. It's that we're just kidding ourselves. That is still just the tip of the iceberg. But that being said, overall, for the most part, I'm able to keep my cool. But I got really angry last night. Really angry at a friend. And okay, so what happened was, so this friend of mine is an alcoholic, and he's spent years falling off the wagon and getting on the wagon and screwing up his life and making a big mess out of things. And I've always been there to support him and to help him, and help him to be sober and help him to stay with his program. And I've when he's had problems and he's needed me to pick him up somewhere, or help him move or whatever, I've done everything I can to help to reduce the stress in his life and help him to get on with his life and all that. And so he was doing really good. And then I got a call last night from, well, it wasn't a call, it was a text from a friend who was at, a party or whatever, and saw this guy, our friend, drinking. And I got really angry, really upset, really angry. And I texted the guy, "What the hell are you doing? You know this stuff is poison to you. You told me you knew how bad it was for you, and you were never going to touch it again. And what the hell are you doing?" And I was just really reaming him out and reading him the riot act. And then oh yeah, and I'm going, and look at what the hell. I mean, all the time I've spent, all the stuff I've done for you, all the things I've helped for you, and this is how I'm thanked in return. You just decide to get plowed, to get loaded one night and throw everything away all over again, get right back into the sand trap. And I just said, don't. And he wasn't responding. He wasn't responding. I didn't expect him to. And finally, I just said, I'm going to sleep. Just goodbye. Don't call me. Don't text me. I'll talk to you later. And then as I was laying in bed, I couldn't sleep. You know how that is. You're really angry at somebody, and you're full of resentment and bitterness, and your mind just starts ruminating and churning and going round and round over what he said, what you said, what he did, what you've done. And I'm thinking, look, I can't believe it. I'm thinking, how do I want to punish him? Well, I'm not going to do any nice things for him anymore. I'm not going to go out of my way anymore. I'm not going to, and I go, this is how he treats me. And then here's the deal. Here's the healing. Here's the payoff. Here's the beauty of it. So I'm sitting there, by the way, full of rage, full of anger. I'm not going to be able to sleep. I'm just so angry, and it's unbelievable. And so full of grievance and resentment and thoughts of vengeance. I was nuts. I was insane. Okay, that's insanity. And then suddenly, as I said to myself the words again, after everything I've done for you, and then suddenly it clicked in. My book clicked in. Forgive to win. What's the whole point? Esteemable acts of kindness to others. You do good deeds for others without exception, without conditions, without expecting anything in return. It's always about how can I help you, not what's in it for me. And as soon as I thought, well, but wait a second. Wasn't my love for him unconditional? Wasn't all those esteemable acts that I did unconditional? Didn't I do that because I care for him? Not because I wanted something back? And I go, yeah, the book, yeah, that's true. That was unconditional. So I'm crazy saying what's in it for me all of a sudden. That wasn't my motive. It never was. And in that seconds, it was seconds of me just remembering the truth about unconditional love and unconditional esteemable acts of kindness to others, and unconditional forgiveness and acceptance, that all my anger and rage and grievance went away. There was no thoughts of vengeance. How am I going to hurt him or punish him? There was no thoughts of wanting to berate him or scold him or shame him or guilt him anymore. None of it. It was all gone. It was amazing. I was calm. All that anger, it was all, and fear, the fear that he was going to kill himself through more drugs and alcohol, and I wouldn't be there to save him this time or whatever. But it all went away. It was unbelievable. And then I realized, and also what came in there came into my mind was, wait a second. If I'm going to be angry, I need to be angry at the disease, not at him. Because I said to myself, he doesn't want to be doing this. His intentions were good. His intentions were true. When he said he didn't want to touch alcohol or drugs ever again, and he knew it was poison, he wasn't lying. He wasn't conning me. He wasn't conning himself. That's the truth. But there's so much anxiety and depression in his life and difficult circumstances, and he's got some chronic pain, and so I could, and he's got an addiction, alcoholism, which that drive, that pull is so intense. I realized that's it. He couldn't, he wasn't strong enough. He wasn't strong enough, and he gave in. And I shouldn't hate him or try to shame him or guilt him or blame him. He needs compassion. He needs more understanding and love and support, not less. He wasn't doing this to me. He wasn't doing this to hurt me. No, he's hurting himself, and it's self-destructive. And so it was so great. I'm telling you, it's so great when you can recognize you're insane and fix it in a matter of seconds. It was fantastic. And you can do this too. And so I texted him. I said, hey, look, man, I'm not angry anymore. I'm totally calm. I realize this is the illness, not you. And I hope that next time you get better at it, and you're stronger at being able to resist. I'm here for you. I still want to support and help you in any way I can. I'll talk to you later. And then I was able to go to sleep, and it was great. It was great. You know, these principles, these tools of forgive to win, of forgiveness, acceptance, love, compassion, getting out of yourself, getting out of your ego. You know, that I was stuck in my ego. That I had helped him. I had done all this for him. I had put my time and energy into helping him, and this is what I get. It was my ego that was offended. It was my ego that was angry that I wasn't being acknowledged and respected. Crazy, crazy stuff. Yeah, it was the Christ in me, the love in me, the good in me, the elevated spirit in me that recovered, that took over for the angry, crazy, fear-ridden, vengeance-ridden ego. My higher self took over and said, "Hey, you, get lost. That's inferior thinking. Unconditional love is the way to go." Isn't it the truth, though, right? So what I was doing first was the anger, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, the Old Testament God, full of anger and vengeance and bitterness. And then it got taken over by, the New Testament. Forgive, unconditional forgiveness, turn the other cheek, treat others as you wish to be treated. It was fantastic. This stuff works if you work it. All right, that's it for now. Take care. Peace be with you. See you next time.